Here we go now.
It's a new year, and I bet you have new ideas or a new plan or new goals for yourself. Well, Wix.com has got you covered when it comes to your website. Years ago, one of my very first websites was built by Wix.com. And even back then, I was like, they make it so easy to build your own website. Because I can tell you this already, I've paid lots of money before to have my website built by other people. Wix makes it easy for you, the everyday person that doesn't really understand how building a website happens. Wix makes it so easy, especially with some of their AI tools. So when I started my podcast and YouTube channel, I didn't know what I was getting myself into at all. Back then, we didn't have AI. It was just me, myself, and I doing every single thing. If I could go back in time, if I was starting my business today, I use Wix. There's so many really cool options that Wix has now available to you. You can create a website your way, whether you want to have AI to jump in or you prefer to do it yourself. Use the AI when you want or how you want. You can customize any detail with the most flexible website editor out there. Rest easy knowing that your Wix site is backed by 99.99 uptime and enterprise-grade security. No add-ons required. Built so that you can own your individuality, create freely, and scale fearlessly. As I mentioned before, they have really cool AI capabilities. Wix is packed with some of the coolest, most useful AI features and agents built specifically for SMB so that you can grow your business without burning out. And that is a powerful statement. Generate unlimited images, website sections, product descriptions, and more. Automate email marketing, SEO tasks, inventory management, and more. Enjoy easy, fuss-free domain registration, web hosting also included. Powered by 280 plus million businesses around the world. They're not new to this. They're true to this. Start delivering AI solutions way before it was cool. Wix has been pioneering in website tech for almost 20 years. Sign up for free at Wix.com. That's Wix.com. Head on over to the description for more details. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. This is our weekly recap of Married to Medicine. I had to think about it for a second. Married to Medicine. And shout out to Wix for sponsoring today's live recap of Married to Medicine. Dom, this is exactly why you're getting this ad. Dom says, this Wix ad is inspiring me to create an LLC, LOL. Just saying. And it's easy. And now with AI, it makes it even easier than before. Again, more information on Wix will be available in the description. Shout out to all of you watching from around the country and around the world. We appreciate you guys. Thank you already for 100 likes. I love it when you guys come on in and you like the live. We were just live recapping the Real Housewives of Potomac. So if you missed it, you can watch it on our YouTube channel or our Facebook or on Twitch. Or you can listen to it on the Kempire podcast either later today or tomorrow. Stay tuned, okay? Okay, Patricia says, I was dying when watching the recap of Potomac. Oh, because it was members only? Well, become a member, Patricia. It's okay, you don't have to. But if you would like to become a member of the channel, head on over to teamkempire.com/join. All right. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everyone in the chat. I appreciate it. And shout out to our replay crew as well. If you had to rate this week's episode of Married to Medicine, how would you rate it? So one of the things that stood out to me from one of the lives that Dr. Heavenly did, she said that this season there really is a focus on the individual personal family stories. And the more I watch this season, the more I'm like, yeah, I can definitely see that. There definitely is a focus on their own personal family stories. Some of those personal family stories, though, are triggering or annoying or just frustrating to watch. But there's definitely a lot of personal story as opposed to any sort of like interfighting between the ladies. But I definitely see it coming. It's definitely coming. I do find it interesting, though. Dr. Heavenly, as you know, has been demoted. I don't care what she wants to say. Definitely, you were demoted this season, but I think you took that as a choice. But despite her demotion, she's still a focal point this season, isn't she? So you might as well just make her full time. But if they made her full time, then she would have to really address why Daddy and Buddy do not want to be around her. Okay, so I do find it interesting that she decided to take this demotion. I think it was intentional so she didn't have to delve into her personal story. I don't think it has anything to do with her running for office, but fine. We shall see what happens after this election, what she decides to do with Married to Medicine. If there is a Married to Medicine. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. We shall see. All right. Kira said that it was a solid episode. Beautiful picture, Kira. It was a solid episode. I think it was a solid episode because it's delving into some of the things that we've been talking about this season. We don't care about a fight between Dr. Simone and Quad. We don't care about, honestly, I really don't even care about Toya and Heavenly fighting. I really don't, because honestly, Toya, I can't even defend you. And I felt like Toya at the beginning, last season and the beginning of this season, I was like, you know what? Toya's come a long way from the multiple houses to degrading her husband, only for us to have that happen again last week. And look, does this happen in relationships? Remember when we started recapping the show during the pandemic? I said, free Dr. Eugene, woo, woo, woo. I don't say that anymore. Dr. Eugene likes it. He has a kink when it comes to Toya degrading him in front of all of us. He likes it. We love it for him. I don't want to watch it, though. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to watch her degrade this man on national television week after week after week. So at the top of this episode, we literally see Dr. Eugene apologizing to her. He's softening to her. And I'm not saying that he was completely right in the way that it was handled, but these two have a bigger issue that they're not talking about. And conveniently, they want to blame the other women. Did y'all notice this? They blamed the women for they were taking little bits of ownership as to what went down in the breakdown of what happened at the party. But what happened at that party had nothing to do with the other women. It had nothing to do with what Dr. Heavenly may have or may have not said. It was you both disrespecting each other, more so Toya disrespecting you in front of the guys. And now all of a sudden it's their fault. It was very easy for them to be a united front and blame the women, the husbands getting into his head, blah, 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 blah. Okay? They were more comfortable blaming them and insinuating it was their fault as opposed to both of them taking ownership for how they ruined their own party. Those women didn't ruin the party. Where's Dr. Mimi? Because I would love to hear Dr. Mimi's take on this. And Dr. Mimi, you showed up in this episode. I was like, okay, Dr. Mimi. Dr. Mimi is no punk. She's sweet and demure, but when it comes time to talk in that talk, I hope she has that same energy for Toya. But she literally, I was like, okay, Dr. Mimi does have a backbone, and I'm here for it. We'll get to that in a second. But at the top of this episode, we have Dr. Eugene call Toya and say, come on down. I'm going to make you a margarita. We need to talk about what happened. Woo, woo, woo. Receipts proof timeline says, oh, the gaslighting about gaslighting us, the audience, to think like, Oh, it was the women's fault. It was Dr. Mimi, Brandy. It was Dr. Heavenly's fault. No, Toya, it was your fault. We had nothing to do with it. We're just sitting there watching. I I felt awkward watching that scene last week. So I can imagine being there. Have you ever been around a couple that argues in front of you? I've had that. I can't remember the couple, but I remember they used to argue in front of me all the time. What was that couple? It was one of my friends. I'm not friends with them anymore, I don't think. But they would argue in front of me, and I'm like, it was so awkward. I'm like, I am not getting in between this. So that's why I'm watching this show, and I'm like, I don't want to know this. I don't need to see this. And look, we get it. In marriages and relationships, fights happening, but this has been happening for over 10 years. They flash back to 2016 with Toya disrespecting Dr. Eugene, and everyone felt bad for Dr. Eugene, but it took us 10 years to realize he likes it. He likes it. You like it, we love it for you. So Toya goes down and they're being sweet to each other. And he's like, I can make you a drink. Let's play some pool. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So he wants to make up for the night before. So Toya and Eugene talk about how they handle conflict differently. They don't know how to handle conflict because in this particular conflict, they're putting the ownership on the other people, blaming the other people and how the other people make Toya feel. That's Toya's issue. That has nothing to do with the other women. Because if you really had an issue with these people, you would not be friends with them. Oh, but you get a check from being on the show. So if you get a check from being on the show, this has nothing to do with them. This has more to do with Eugene finally standing up to you. Because that's probably the biggest thing. Eugene finally standing up to you. And now you're projecting and deflecting onto the other people. And I'm like, wait a minute. Right? Sexy Brown Bone says, it's the fact that he had to beg her for accountability. But this is what he's used to. Beautiful Gem said, yep, it's his kink. This is what he's used to. And we talked about this before. Dr. Eugene was the nerdy guy in school, and Toya was the popular girl in school. He finally got the popular girl. No matter if you lose the weight, you become cool, you make the money, if you felt like that as a kid and you felt like that in college and you felt like that as a young adult, you are going to probably always feel like that. You could get the wife, you could get the money, you could lose the weight, you could do whatever. You're always going to feel like that. And that's why I find it funny, taking it back to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, when we talk about Amanda and people saying Amanda and the advice that she gave Dorit, it begins psychologically before you actually make the money and make those decisions. Because if you haven't changed psychologically what's going on in your head, you're going to repeat it again. That's what we're seeing with Dr. Eugene. He's perpetually the guy in school, the nerdy guy, whatever it may be, and he got the girl, and now he feels like forever, like he's going to always sort of, shuck and jive to keep the girl. And look, only to go on, she doesn't rely on him for money. She makes more money than he does. So again, he's being emasculated by the fact that she's also the breadwinner. Sidebar, when she was on Lip Service, Angela Yee's podcast, she reveals like, well, who pays for what? And she was so grateful someone asked because she's like, no one has ever asked me. So apparently she put down, was it $600,000 on the new home? She was the one who put the down payment. He pays the mortgage and she pays for the boys' school. She makes the most money. So all he pays for is the mortgage. But she said when they were first starting out, she would pay like the little bills, like the utilities and things like that. And he would pay all the bigger bills. That's what she said. So that's what we found out. That's what Toya paid for the big down payment on the house. Y'all like it? We love it for you. I don't find it entertaining anymore. This is 10 years of watching you degrade this man on the show. He likes it. I'm not gonna defend him. You like it? Good for you. That's something for you to talk about with your therapist later on in life when you're resenting her for always emasculating you on the show. Okay, Dr. Eugene, fine. So they have a conversation about how they handle conflict differently in their confessionals, okay? He apologizes because he forgot what the party meant to Toya. So he's now making it about, Oh, the reason why you reacted that way was because I know that I forgot that this party really meant a lot to you, especially with the women there and how they've always, emasculated me and talked about you and the things and blah blah. Okay, any excuse is better than none, right? Any excuse is better than none. I don't think that was the issue. She was inebriated. She's always emasculating you. You're okay with it, so she continues to do it. Period. Period. Kendra says, take us out the group chat. I don't find them entertaining or interesting. I don't find that it's awkward. It's like being in the situation, watching on television, literally you're a friend, you're with your friends, and they're arguing in front of you. I don't need to see that. And it keeps coming up because you guys haven't healed it. You haven't figured out a way to respect each other. But y'all like it? Here we go. Lakita says her apology was garbage. It was. It really wasn't an apology. Again, they gave a little bit of like accountability and then they blamed it on the rest of the group. She's like, I really shouldn't be listening to the rest. They barely said anything. Yes, Heavenly made her little digs, but this all began with you and Dr. Eugene. It had nothing to do with the rest of the group. It had nothing to do with the rest of the group. It all had to do with you and Dr. Eugene, but you and Dr. Eugene both took a little bit of accountability and then you blamed the rest of the group. It was their fault. They got into our heads. They're always doing this. They're always emasculating us. Okay. All right. So why are you friends with them? Oh, because you're on a show together. All right. Fine. But then they flash back to the amount of times that Toya has emasculated him, disrespected him in front of everybody, in front of all of us, millions of people. People are still watching her do this. And fast forward 10 years later, you still are doing this. And she makes excuses like, I should be able to tell you to be a leader and lead the men. I should be able to say that to you. So she's learned nothing. She's learned nothing. It's one thing if we are at home and we are off, even if we are off camera, because I don't know if I would even want to do that on camera, even if it's just us at home, because still people are going to see it. Off camera, at home, if I feel that way about my partner, I'm going to say it to them. I'm not going to say that in front of them, in front of my friends. I'm not going to say that in front of the world. I'm not going to say that on social media, but I move differently. We were just talking about this during our last recap. Not every thought or feeling that you have has to go on social media. So that's just the way that I move. I understand not everyone moves that way, but it probably would help a lot of y'all relationships. A lot of you probably could avoid some of the comments because you start getting influenced by the comments of what people are saying. Because I'm sure a lot of people will like, because there's so many people that get on Toya like, I don't understand why people don't let Toya live her life. We should be happy about a Black woman living her life. I have no problem with Toya living her best life, even if she didn't work and do anything. But we know that she does work. Even if she didn't, I'm here. This leads us to talking about Cecil. I'm here for Black people being rich and just being rich and spending and doing all of that. Okay? I am here for all of it. What I'm not here for, I don't care if you're Black, white, Chinese. I would not want to watch a wife or husband disrespect the other year after year, emasculate in front of us, and then gaslight the audience to make it seem like it was their fault. It wasn't our relationship. Our relationship is perfect. Our relationship is perfect. We have a beautiful family and beautiful kids. You guys are the problem. Oh, we're the problem? We're the problem. We are the problem. Okay. Fine. Fine. But I will say this. Because when we first started the scene, I said, let this be the last season. I think the focus on the personal family drama, and they could lead into this in future seasons, but I think not with the same people. Because it's just the same thing. It's like a hamster wheel. It's the same people, the same issues. 10 years later, we're seeing the same Toya and Dr. Eugene beef. Chastity, I love that for Drew. Chastity says, like Dr. Mimi said, she said Siri. She said, play Drew Sidora's Delulu, because that's exactly what Dr. Eugene is. I love that moment from Dr. Mimi. I was like, okay, this is the Dr. Mimi I like to see. Let me say thank you. We had a couple of super chats. Thank you guys. You can also support the channel just by liking the video. And if you're listening to an audio version of this, you can support just by giving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Represent yourself illegal. Thank you for being a member and for the super chat. Coco says, did anyone catch Toya saying to Eugene, so you're trying to be hard? I missed it last time. Toya is disrespectful to everyone. And I think because people let her get away with it. People let her get away with it. I couldn't. And she's an Aries. You know, we talk astrological signs. And I've said this because I know Aries women like the back of my hand. I probably know them better than they know themselves. Aries women are very much like Toya, but they know how to navigate letting their men feel like they're leading, but they're still getting their way. And they do have their moments, but they don't disrespect their men or their partners in front of the world like Toya. And I don't know if it's for the cameras. I don't know if it's for a story. I don't know. But it's not pleasant to watch. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you, Miss Esquire, for the super chat and for being a member. Miss Esquire says, people will check single women all day long about how they talk to their men and about being marriage material. Is this the material? Is this the material? Let me read that again. People will check single women all day long about how they talk to their men and about being marriage material. Is this the material? I don't know. It makes me, well, I was just thinking to myself, I'd say if she was to ever get a divorce from Dr. Eugene, would Toya find another man? She would. Because she's beautiful. And she knows how to play the game. She'll probably be all soft and demure for the next man. But please understand, if she gets another man, that next man is not going to be a Dr. Eugene. You're going to see a completely different guy that she gets with next. Just saying. Look, Danielle, Aries woman, says, yes, as an Aries woman, I would never talk down to my man like that, and especially not in public or on TV. I know so many Aries women. I'm like, they don't move like this. And look, I had some close Aries women. They'll probably do it in front of me to their partner, but they wouldn't do it to the world. Because I've seen it. I've definitely seen Aries women navigate in that way, but it's not a regular thing. That is not a regular thing. Designer Toll says a toy will make a man broke. Well, I think that narrative has to go out the window. She makes a lot of money. She makes more money than Dr. Eugene at this particular point. Oh, Deborah says, send the new man the tape. Oh my goodness. Elizabeth says she would get another doctor, but he would definitely check her. I don't know if she would get another doctor. I definitely think she would get a man with money, but I definitely think that person would be very different. He wouldn't be the nerd. He wouldn't be the nerd that was in school. And I like Dr. J. I'm not trying to be derogatory by calling him the nerd. I just think that was an archetype that he was in school. And I appreciate that. I love a good nerd. Okay. And he can cook. Dr. Eugene is a prize. He works hard. He's cute. I think Dr. Eugene is cute. He's a doctor. He can cook. Okay. And I think he's a good husband for the most part. But then I think to myself, like, is he a really good husband if he allows his wife to treat him the way that she does? Because you also don't, what can turn someone off in a relationship is you don't want to date a sucker. You do want a partner that's going to challenge you, because I'm sure you've all dated or even married people that you could walk over. And that's cute for a hot second. And then you're just like, and then you end up cheating on the person that you walk over because you don't have any respect for them. Do I think that Toya has cheated? Because you know those have been rumors before. Read my eyes, because I do know Aries women too. Look, don't blink, Emma. Don't blink. Do I think that she's cheated? Remember when they had those rumors? And go back to our recaps. I know Aries women. I know Aries women. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that. Lakita Greer. Yes, Lakita Greer. Thank you for remembering. Lakita says he's a good man, Savannah. Thick says I do. Designer does it. Toya only stays afloat because of the show. Most of the housewives have gone bankrupt. I mean, if she left the show and she didn't have the show anymore, then she wouldn't have. She wouldn't be the big breadwinner. That's the downside of being on reality television. When you're no longer on it, you're not getting residuals. He will always have his medical degree. He will always be able to get a job. Just saying. That's the difference. This is why we need to encourage our children to educate themselves. Go to school, get your degree, get a professional degree. I think if we encourage that and not like Susan, Dr. Wendy Acefo's mom, not to the point where like that's all you can do, but if we encourage them to think beyond social media, think beyond reality television, think beyond a quick buck. And yes, there are people that are just good at that and they're passionate about that. But some people get into this stuff wanting to think that they can make a quick buck and they're not passionate about it and they're not successful at it. But I think if we start encouraging and letting people know, like, no, you could be passionate about the sciences. You can be passionate about the law. We get passionate about just talking to lawyers. So, and some people have been inspired based off the conversations that we've had with attorneys on this channel to get into law. Okay. Look. We inspiring the kids. Just saying. But no, we should. Teachers. There's a low when it comes to teachers because y'all don't pay teachers enough. Not y'all, but you know what I mean. But anyways, I've digressed. I've digressed. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's the easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well to start to show up on your algorithm. And if you're not subscribed, get subscribed because it is a subscribers only live chat. We're recapping the latest episode of Married to Medicine. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Jermaine says, I was rooting for Toya and Eugene, but their relationship is giving a little toxic. You are real generous with the little part. It's definitely giving toxic. Especially because when you think back, it's 10 years later and she's still very disrespectful towards him. But again, at what point do we look at Dr. Eugene and say, Dr. Eugene, stand up for yourself. I'm done. You like it, we love it for you. Elle says, I love the law. It's everywhere, that and science. Yeah. I think if we talked about it more and we were passionate about it and we showed how wonderful and beautiful those sciences and things can be, kids would look at it differently. Just saying. But that's me. Dick says, imagine off camera how Toya could be. Exactly. Can you imagine the things that she says on camera? Lord. Hey Libra, y'all are just looking beautiful in y'all photos. Okay. Libra, thank you for being a member. Libra says, Toya isn't flipping houses. They lost money on TG at first home they built. Yeah, she liked to spin the narrative about flipping houses and, you know, she got a lot of money from the dream house that she built. I don't know if I believe that, but here you go. Designer doll law grad here. Shout out to all our attorneys in the chat. Leah says, my law degree is the best decision I ever made. I never wanted to be a practicing attorney either. See? The thing is with law school, and this is not coming from someone that's gone to law school, but I know a lot of attorneys. A lot of attorneys I know end up not using the law degree, but the skill set that you get from going to law school is another thing that you're going to utilize in so many different areas of your life. So take the journey. The journey will get you there, okay? Do you think, LH says, do you think, LH, are those your nails? I always see them, and I think they're so pretty. Do you think that Dr. Eugene talks really slick off camera? He's a Sagittarius. I know he does. I'm sure he does, but she's an Aries, and they probably give it to each other. But I also don't think, I mean, she really goes for the jugular with him. Angel says, sidebar, the newest house is only 4,000 square feet. Not only. How much was the other house? How much was the other house? Do we know? I can't remember the other house in regards to everything. I just remember I liked the other house's closet more. Thick says, oh yeah, Thick says Audra, the real estate attorney, told us. Remember, that's when they got into the fight. Mika says we need Audra to enter the chat. Audra has not been back since. And she really runs around these folks. Oh, come on now. It's not Sagittarian. Sagittarians are the devil. I don't know if I would call them the devil. Designer Joe says if Sag is intimidated, they won't argue. Well, I can see him being intimidated. I can definitely see him being intimidated. Deborah says Aries equals no filter. I love our community because we could talk astrological talk over here. I love this for us. Designer Joel says that the closet in the other house was great. It had 2 levels to it. It was beautiful. I liked it. This one seems to be a bit of a downgrade, but she likes it. We love it for her. Dr. Eugene also has a pretty big closet too. I don't know if you guys saw the Entertainment Tonight tour that they got. Ooh, I didn't think about that. Alexandria says a $3 million, that's only 4,000 square feet. I never thought about that. That is, and in Georgia. You think of, okay, now it's making a little bit more sense to me. Hold on. Not Sagittarius. Eugene's not a Leo, right? Isn't he a Sagittarius? Don't get me confused now, Desiree. Don't get me confused. But now when you think about it, in Georgia, a $3 million home for 4,000 square feet, that's not a deal. Jermaine said, that sounds small, especially in Georgia. If it was New York, I'd be like, well, sounds about right. But for $3 million, I feel like I don't think in New York you're getting 4,000 square feet. But damn, for $4 million? $3 million? Okay, wait, Lonnie says the new house is 5,000. Still, I don't think that's still a lot for $3 million. It's still a big, beautiful home, but when I think about that, I think that to be interesting. Okay. Lankita says, we have digressed. We have. Oh, Ariane says she's paying for the location. My 4,500 square foot in Georgia was only 320. Yeah, okay, Ariane. But still, when you think about that, when you think about what Ariane had in Georgia, she had 4,500 square feet and she paid $320,000. That's not even $500,000. Yes, Lonnie, the primary bedroom that Toya has is really small. I mean, I guess it makes up for it in regards to closet space because they both have big closet space. But when you think about what Ariana paid for her 4,500 square foot, yeah, you're probably paying for the area. Not probably, she's definitely paying for the area. Okay, but that's fine. Hold on. Miss Spenless says, you mean Anila? Anila has 14,000 square feet? No, she don't. For $3 million? Kilo says location, features, and amenities are added in costs. I mean, what were the amenities? What were the features? Look. As I look at her, I'm like, I didn't see that many amenities, but you never know. Look, who knows? Auntie says it's not big. My house is 3,000 square feet. Okay, y'all just living the lives over here. My house is 3,000 square feet, and it's just average. Toya doesn't make wise decisions. Oh, okay. Ariana says that zip code changes everything. Oh, he is a Sagittarius. Desiree says, oh, my bad, he is a Sagittarius. I was about to say, I was like, wait, we just, don't get me confused, y'all. Okay. Hey, Lorraine. Lorraine says actual size, 5,280 square feet, 5 bedrooms and 5.5 bedrooms. Yeah. I mean, look, at the end of the day, if you love it, you're going to pay what you want for it, right? So it's still a big, beautiful home. But when you think about Georgia, you're like, that's not a lot of space for the amount of money you're spending. But again, the area. Des says Toya lives in Alpharetta. Is that I don't know Georgia areas like that. I've heard of the area. Alexandria says, still, I live in Georgia, even in Alpharetta / Milton. Well, I know we're going to continue to digress. So let me get back into this Married to Medicine episode. So Dr. Eugene and Toya, damn, we're still in the first scene. So they have that conversation and they just basically put it on the friends. They make it more about the friends. Okay. So fine. So Toya says, she could do better about, giving him words of affirmation. We feel like you should have known that a long time ago, but fine. She says she does it for the boys, that she should do it for him, and she wishes that he would learn spades. My thing is, and look, we're hard on Toya, but if your wife wants you to play a card game with her, don't you just learn the card game? He's like, oh, that leads to fights and stuff. Yeah, that's what happens in Black communities. And I'm like, I just feel like those are small things to make your partner happy. Why not play? Why not learn spades? I don't know how to play spades. Shut up. Okay, I don't know how to play spades. But if my partner has been asking for years for me to learn how to play spades, I'm gonna learn how to play spades. It's a card game. When they go on vacation, she wants to play a card game with you. I mean, that's not one of the things that I would want to do on vacation, but fine. You want to play spades as my partner? I'm gonna learn. Okay. Designer Doll says no accountability as a couple. Yeah, but they like it. It works for them. Fine. Okay, you look fine. Fumalayo. I love that name. Fumalayo says my house is 3,000. Okay, y'all just got square footage. Okay, my house is 3,000 square feet, Chicagoland area. I would slap myself paying $3 million for only an additional 1,500, but Toya doesn't make the wisest decision. Damn, Toya, I didn't mean for this to lead to what it's leading to. Okay, but fine. Hey, Miss Brooklyn Diamond. Thank you for being a member. Miss Brooklyn Diamond says he knows the game. I think it's his experience in college with playing that game. And would you want Toya as a partner in spades? I don't know. I don't understand the game of spades, so maybe that's what it is. But if that's what again, as your partner, if that's what you want, don't you just learn to play the game and play the game with her? You know what I mean? I don't know. It feels like a small ask, but fine. Leela says, I'm with Eugene on that one. I'm not fighting with you over that. Wait, in regards to spades, Leela, or something else? Libra says, I don't blame Eugene because Toya would literally get physical with Eugene playing spades if he messed up. Oh, wait a minute. Is spades that controversial? Y'all gonna have to teach me about the spades because now I'm like, huh? And for y'all, before y'all try and come for my black card, I am a Jamaican. Okay, so there is a difference. Jamaicans aren't playing spades. Okay, and if they are, they're playing it because they came to America. All right, just saying. All right. Let me see. Oh, Kilo says, yes, Kemp. Spades is very serious. Why though? Can someone call in and explain? Kilo says, especially in Detroit. Really? Oh, Elise says spades players are ruthless. Jennifer says spades games can get intense. What is happening? What? I didn't know. I mean, I've heard it getting intense, but I didn't realize. Toy says yes, spades is no joke. But it shouldn't be that serious though, right? Oh, Libra says it's that serious, Kempire. Oh, Kilo says then bragging rights means everything. LL says spades is serious. You make a mistake, there will be a problem. See, now I don't want to play the game. Look, now I understand, Dr. Eugene. Now I understand. You don't want to be a part of it. Now I understand why he doesn't want to play. Because now I'm already checking out. I'm like, wait, if it's that serious, I don't want to play. Not that have the table rocking, Dom. What? People get loud at spades games. What? Domo says it's always that serious. OMG, what is going on? Y'all are all going in. Okay. Miss 17 says not everyone giving Kemp the lowdown on spades, which is why I don't play. Oh, so now this is why. Okay, now I understand why Dr. Eugene has not learned or doesn't want to play the game. LNN Custom Design says my man is a Taurus and he's traumatized and refused to play with me. See, now I'm not playing. The next person I date and like, you don't know how to play spades? Nope. And I don't want to. And I don't want to. I heard it's very serious. Like, unless I'm dating like a Jamaican or something like that, or Caribbean, because we'd be like, yeah, we're not playing those games. All right. This is hilarious right now. This whole conversation. All right, guys, we're almost at 300 likes. Keep liking the video. Shout out to the 3 people that disliked. It's probably Dr. Eugene, Toya, and maybe one of their kids. It's okay. That's hilarious. Wow, everyone. Not you underbid. It's on. Miss Brooklyn Diamond said. Oh my God. Oh, purple. Wait a minute. The purposeful princess says, yeah, don't play spades for fun. You'll lose a friend and you're cool. What? Ariel says, we Caribbean people. We don't know nothing about this. What is going on? I did not know. I did not know. Excuse me. All right. Lord have mercy. Who knew? No. Thank you so much. Represent yourself legal. Thank you so much for the super chat. Another super chat. Coco says, I play spades online and see strangers cuss their partner out online. You can play spades online too? I mean, I guess in this day and age. Teach updated her new picture. Beautiful. T says, you know I'm a yachty. I learned to play in middle school. Don't feel bad, Kempire. I've seen people fight. Oh, see, this is not the game for me, because if you're fighting over a game, I'm already like tuned out, because I'm like, it's a game. What are we doing? Miss V Thomas said, I love how you guys are teaching me right now. Kemp, think Caribbean. Oh, wait. Kemp, think Caribbeans with domino. Oh, wait. You saw how I look back, I was like, wait a minute. Oh, things do get intense. I don't play that either, though. Wow. All right, let me focus, guys. If you haven't already, keep liking the video. We're talking about Married to Medicine. Now I'm on Dr. Eugene's side again. I like Uno. I do know how to play the game Uno. I do like Uno. I have never gotten into a game of Uno that's gotten that deep, but okay. Oh, Patricia says Jamaicans are wicked with dominoes. Ooh, okay. All right, let me move on, y'all. All right, so Brandy at home with her kids. Brandy, I think Brandy's a good addition, y'all. And if there is hope for this show to move forward, I would like to see more of Brandy. I think she is a light, fun energy. She is in the medical field. They've listened to you guys. They got someone that isn't a doctor on here, but she is a nurse practitioner, so basically the same. Okay. Oh, Designer Doll says, Kempire, you're a Taurus. You will become competitive. You're right. I just thought about that too. The V-Light says, I love the sidebars. We always end up on them. We just did like 4, right? And we've been live for 40 minutes. Not V says Uno can be a family destroyer. Maybe because I've never played with family. I haven't played Uno in a hot second though. I do like the game of Uno though. Oh, I should get like a little card of a little deck of Unos, so like for the house, like when I have guests. Let's play some Unos. Oh, I should get some cards so we can play spades. No, I should get some dominoes. No. Oh my gosh. All right. So Brandy, I think Brandy's a great addition to the show, y'all. I like her. I like how she has navigated with this group. Her kids are adorable. I didn't realize she had such young kids. She has like young kids. I don't know how she does it, but they all seem lovely, a lot of energy. Okay. So Angel and Mimi come over. This was kind of nice to kind of see all the newbies. I know Dr. Mimi is not necessarily a newbie, but she's newer. Have this sort of their own scene together. Shout out to whoever decided to do this scene with them, so that all the kids come together and they're all hanging out with each other. I will say this though. Did anyone else notice when they were asking Angel about her dating life and they were talking about stuff? Do you want an anaconda? And I'm like, and I'm seeing in the background the children. And look, I know in real life, y'all be cussing and talking all kinds of things in front of your kids. But I was like, should we be having these conversations in front of the children? Just asking. So Mimi talks about not bringing her son. As you know, she has a son with autism. So she says the last time she's brought her son to one of her friend's house, he broke a television. They had to go buy a television right down the street to replace it. Okay. So she says, this is actually a nice break for her in regards to not having to watch her. Her daughter's so sweet. her daughter's energy is just so bubbly and sweet, very much like Mimi. So she comes in and she hugs Brandy, and so did Angel's son. I thought that was really sweet. Okay, um, so so Mimi talks about why she didn't bring her son. She's just like, this is a really nice break for her. So Angel then ends up talking about being a single mom. And a lot of you were introduced to her when she was on Basketball Wives. So she has a child by that basketball player. She has another child, and she says basically she handles things on her own. And when asked about the other people, the other fathers, if they're involved, and she was just like, I'm doing everything. So let's not talk about them. And I was like, oh, damn. So I feel like in this episode we got to hear more of Mimi than we did before, which was good. I still am not too sure about Mimi, but again, I wouldn't be opposed to Mimi coming back again next season as a friend of. I just feel like, just based off of us being on episode 5, I'm just sort of like, okay, finally we're getting a little something from Mimi. I don't get the same that I get from Brandy. Mimi seems a little bit more like she's just sort of there. But a lot of y'all said that's how she was on Basketball Wives, and that's why I didn't remember her on Basketball Wives. Okay. Joyce says, as far as I'm concerned, Angel can go back to Basketball Wives. She was there for a hot second, and they got rid of her there. Sorry. I think she's probably a lovely person, but and beautiful woman. But I agree, Auntie. Auntie Kimmy says that I don't think the kids were paying them any attention. It was so many kids. I agree, but I just couldn't help to see the kids in the back as they're having this conversation about Anaconda. You know what I mean? Yeah, Angel. I'm talking about Angel. Sorry. Let me take a sip. See, Melly says, I watched Basketball Wives and I don't remember. I don't remember a thing about Angel. I thought the same thing, and I was like, I don't remember Angel. But it's okay, Angel. It could just be the editing. Mr. Melody Magic says that Jackie Christie tried to fight her in a dress chasing. Wait, I don't remember that. Okay, fine. Elle says beautiful gowns. We know what that means. Lakia says that Angel's a seat filler. Libra says, I like Brandy. I like Brandy too. Amelia says, Angel is boring. I'm sorry, she does not bring anything to the table. We don't even get to see her be a nurse and do that. And she's very much a nurse. But okay, fine. But I like the scene. They're talking a lot about her dating life and things like that. And based off the preview for next week, they're going to continue to talk about her dating life. Toya has someone for her. Fine. We talk about that. Mimi, then it leads into a conversation about deflection, because Brady talks about how Mimi deflected. And she's like, no, I'm not the one deflecting. Let's talk about the real person that was deflecting. And then she talks about how Toya deflected. Okay. And deflected those issues onto Brandy, Mimi, and Dr. Heavenly. Okay. So Mimi says that Toya can be an energy vampire. The way that Mimi showed up in the scene, because before I wasn't sure about Mimi. I was like, it's kind of given a little too even keeled. But in this moment, I was like, oh, at least that's so boring. She had kept yawning. You saw I try to eat the yawn, right? Just saying. But Mimi in this moment, the way that she analyzed Toya, I was like, she clocked it. I love the way she broke that down about Toya. This is what I can appreciate her being the psychiatrist on the cast. And I said with Dr. Gregory being on the show, you would never know that he was a psychiatrist. He just didn't give that energy. But she gives that energy. Like her perspectives, I look forward to hearing her perspectives on the group. And I was like, the way she assessed Toya and how Toya tried to deflect what was happening in her situation onto the other women, I was like, clock that T. And then she was like, Siri, play Juicadora's Delulu. Let me not trigger my thing. And I was like, yes. Not Juicadora getting a shout out. So this was the one moment that I looked at that Dr. Mimi and I was like, come on now. This is the Dr. Mimi I need to see. This is the Dr. Mimi that needs to show up at the reunion. Okay? because Toya is going to have some things to say to Dr. Mimi. I feel like Toya has not seen it for Dr. Mimi. She's been taking digs at Dr. Mimi since episode 1 this season. I don't know why, because I don't think Dr. Mimi does anything to the other women. I think she genuinely is trying to get to know everyone and be friendly with everyone. I don't know what Toya doesn't like about Dr. Mimi. You think she's jealous? Do you think she's jealous because Dr. Mimi has the life that she wants? Oh, wait a minute. Can we just speculate? Okay. Do you think that she wanted to get the football guy and she ended up with getting Dr. Eugene? No offense, Dr. Eugene. I really do not mean offense. And she's got the education as well. So not only is Dr. Mimi, she's got the lifestyle and the man, but she's also got her own degrees. So the other women respect her as a DR, period. I'm just speculating. But now that I'm speculating, I'm like, Patricia says she hit the nail on the head with Toya. She is. And I love the way that she handled the conflict with Toya. And it might not be great reality television. It's not, because you want people to engage and have conflict. But she's like, I'm not going to engage with that. I'm not. There's no prospering in that. Represent Yourself Legal says Dr. Mimi is young, gifted, and black with a beautiful family and fine husband with a great personality. So you're agreeing with me. Here go Mr. Miller Magic. Dr. Mimi's husband is fine too. Lord. Now I'm thinking. Public Good Project says maybe not jealousy, but not liking being held accountable. Maybe. I'm just speculating. I just had that as a thought. Diana says, that's a good theory. I didn't think about it till this moment. I was like, wait a minute. Do you think it might be a little jealousy? So Tara said it said, you might be onto something. I didn't think about it because I don't understand why she keeps taking these little digs at Dr. Mimi. She might not even realize that she might feel this way about Dr. Mimi. She might not even realize it until we say it now. Just saying. Okay. Oh, Mary Jane Baby says Toya isn't jealous of Dr. Mimi, but she rubs her the wrong way. Oh, Dr. Mimi rubs Toya the wrong way? But why? Dr. Mimi doesn't do or say anything to rub anyone the wrong way. Unless it's something that we're not seeing. Emilia said, Meredith Marks quote, jealousy is a disease. I say get well soon. I try to do it in a slur voice, but I can't because I'm not inebriated. All right. Lakia says it's definitely giving envy because we don't understand. Look, exactly. Represent Yourself Legal says rubs the wrong way equals jealousy. Okay, so we're all on the same page. Toya is jealous of Dr. Mimi. Marigold says stop giving Toya more things to roast Eugene over. Oh my God. Exactly. That part too. Jarrell says that people respect Dr. Mimi. The group probably respects her too because she's a DR period. She's coming in. And we have to keep in mind too, it's one thing if the husband is the doctor, but Toya does feel insecure with these women. So there is truth to that in the early parts of this episode. There are truths to the fact that she feels insecure with these other women because they've always made her feel less than because she's not a doctor and she's a housewife. So now Dr. Mimi comes in and they probably, and this is what we're not seeing, she probably sees the group treating her differently and giving her respect because she is a doctor and she seems to be getting along with everyone else. Rue says Dr. Mimi presents in a way that is celebrated, which Toya is the opposite of. Okay, Wendy says she doesn't think that she's jealous. But now, Wendy, after you hear all of the explanations, Private Person says, I highly doubt Toya is jealous. All dislike doesn't stem from jealousy. But I don't get the dislike. What has Dr. Mimi said or done to her? And I'm noticing these digs from episode 1. Diana says Dr. Mimi came in and seems to be accepted by the group without having to do too much. And it could be because they respect her. It also could be because of the way that she conducts herself. Just saying. That could be it, y'all. I think we might be on to something. GCC chair, thank you for being a member and thank you for the super chat. I used to question new inmates if they played spades to determine where I would house them. That's interesting. I used to question new inmates if they played spades to determine where I would house them. What? That's so interesting. Chastity, thank you for being a member and for the super chat. Chastity says, Toya is going to come for Mimi at the reunion. I know it too. This is why I'm bringing it up. She knows how mild-mannered she is and isn't going to go back and forth with her. However, all Mimi got to do is hit her with the intellect. Toya will digress. Everything that Dr. Mimi did in this scene this week is the same energy that she needs to bring to the reunion. Because I agree with you. There will be, and who knows what happens for the rest of the season, but there will be things happening at the reunion. I wonder when Dr. Mimi is going to be on Watch What Happens Live, because that's going to come up. But she just has a way of explaining things that makes sense. Like, she never stumbles over her words. She doesn't ever seem truly bothered by what any of these women say or do. Danny says, so Spades is that serious? Wow. Joy says that, in my opinion, Toya needs therapy. She may feel that she's not good enough. All she thinks about is material things, money, prestige, homes, trying to keep up with these doctors. I agree. And they told on themselves this week, right? They basically were saying that she felt insecure, and that's what triggered the fight between them. I don't think that was just that, but, here we are. Miss Esquire says, I went to TSU with Mimi. She is not as mild-mannered as y'all think. Oh, no, we saw it this week. And she even has said it since episode 1. She's like, there is a Dr. Mimi after dark. Lakia says, we are preaching up in this dancery. We are preaching. Desiree says, isn't she a therapist? Yeah, she's a psychiatrist. That's her job. All right. Let me move on. All right. Dr. Simone. So I've met Dr. Simone's sister at BravoCon. I met her. Lovely. She's the opposite of Dr. Simone. She's like calm, lovely personality. Okay. What I loved about these two simultaneous scenes that we're getting between the siblings, basically Dr. Simone and her sister, and Cecil with his brother. Okay. I like this because it was it's nice to see their families, and it's nice to see how close the siblings are. So Dr. Simone opens up to her sister about what's been going on. She's very close with her sister. They see each other every other month. They're always hanging out. And I have to say, both the siblings, David and her sister, gave really good advice to Dr. Simone and to Cecil. Okay. So Dr. Simone talks to her about the conversation that she had with Cecil and her sons, and she felt like her son Michael was being disrespectful, and Cecil is sitting over there not saying anything. Simone says that Michael was that he was disrespectful, and Cecil did nothing. She then says that Cecil is trying to be the complete opposite. Carmen, thank you so much to be live. I can't remember her sister's name. She says that Cecil it's like he's doing the complete opposite of what his father did. And his father was probably a lot more strict. You got to work hard. You got to do what you got to do. And she says that he's doing the complete opposite of what his dad did. And she's Papa Whitmore. Okay. Simone then gets really emotional talking to her sister Carmen and says that the boys and her husband are not considering her. I think if we didn't see the Instagram live that they did a few weeks ago after that big blow up, I think we would still be riding with Dr. Simone, but she's still riding with them. She's making excuses for that behavior. And then we have the scene with Cecil and his brother. So Cecil's brother, David, moved to Atlanta because he recently went through a divorce. And based off of what David says in this conversation, I'm riding with David. Whatever that wife did, she was the one in the wrong, because it seems like he understood, but maybe he's understanding after what he did wrong in his marriage. Maybe he has, 2020 vision after the fact. Okay. So Cecil and his brother get along a lot. They see each other every other day. David looks at Dr. Simone. He's known her since the 90s. He's like, that's not my sister-in-law. That's my sister. I love hearing this. I love seeing this. I love seeing these conversations. Okay. So he says to Cecil that Dr. Simone called him and she was very hurt. She was hurting. The brother says that, when the kids are gone, it's just going to be you and Dr. Simone. Who said that a couple of weeks ago? And all Dr. Simone is looking for from Cecil is him having her back. And one of the important things that Cecil says, that David says, is that you keep saying we. If you're going to say we when it comes to the money, then the decision, you guys need to be on the same page. It has to be a we decision in regards to if we are going to support you. It can't be a divided front. And I was like, this is exactly what they both needed to hear. What Carmen was saying to Dr. Simone, but Dr. Simone says she does not feel supported. And she fears being resentful towards Cecil. I think we're already there. Because backtracking to what we said a couple of weeks ago, I think they should have gotten a divorce. And I'm not encouraging divorce, but she was so clear. When we go back to that reunion, she was so clear on what she wanted to do. She said that she told him, if you leave this therapy session, we're getting a divorce. But they talked her out of the divorce. This is why you don't involve people in your business. Because I think they would have still been able to have an amicable friendship and maybe relationship with separate lives. But some people speculate it's cheaper to keep them. And look, Cecil has a job. He's a real estate agent. Apparently, he went on social media to give you guys his resume because everyone's saying Cecil don't work. He's spending up the money, blah, blah, blah. Cecil apparently made money. He's retired. Fine. Is he making as much money as Dr. Simone? I think that's where we're seeing Dr. Simone's frustration. She's like, I'm working still and I would like to retire. Cecil, you obviously are not making enough for her to just retire. So even if you're not living off of her and she's not taking care of all of you, obviously you didn't bring home enough for her to say, you know what, I can retire today. She's making a ton of money being an OG on this show. She has her own practice. So here we are. Hold on, let me answer Eric. Eric says, Kem, you were born in New York, sir. You're American. I'm American, but I grew up in a Jamaican household. We didn't play spades. AJ, I'm American by passport. By culture, I'm Jamaican. Your point? I went my entire life not playing spades or even understanding the culture of spades because I grew up in a Jamaican household with Jamaican friends and family. And also growing up in New York, being surrounded by other Caribbean people. Never played spades a day in my life. And today, at my big age of 44 years old, just learned the seriousness of spades. T says, y'all got to stop assuming. Al says, Kev, hold on. Let me get you together real quick. I know that's right. Just that. Don't sit here and assume. Hold on. Where's Toya's comment? Where's Toya? Toya says, I was born in New York to Jamaican parents. There is a difference. And still surrounded by nothing but Jamaicans and Caribbean people. Patricia, I heard you say this is Jamaican accent. Should I put him out of order? I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm American by being born here, but very Jamaican. Very Jamaican. And what I will have for dinner tonight will be very Jamaican. Just saying. Okay. Anyways, back to this. We've taken another sidebar. Hmm. Trust says we don't play spades. You better know what you're doing when you sit down. See, I'm not. Belly says, guess the villain era is still going strong. Look, the villain era will always be in me. All right. Just saying. Oh, well, wait. See, Barbados. Hold on. Critical Thinker says spades is as serious as Wari in Barbados. I don't know what Wari is. What's Wari? Okay. Maud says that spades is a southern. Look, and then there's that. Spades is a southern thing, and I grew up in New York. And I grew up in New York. All right, it's all right. It's all right. Anyway, Fab, thank you so much for the super chat. Fab, hold on. Fab says, Kemp, be careful with Uno. Uno Mercy is another level. Also agree with you about Toya. She's doing a lot. I like Uno though. But I don't think I played Uno with anyone that takes it that serious. Fab says, with Kempire, also born in New York, grew up in Haitian household, also don't know how to play spades. See? And happy belated Haitian Independence Day. So, see? Just saying. Ariel, thank you so much for the super chat. Ariel says, just came to say, did you hear Simone say they bought dinner? The paper on the pan was from the restaurant, but they shouldn't have ate the food still. You read me down last time I said this. Sorry. Ariel's still triggered. They bought the... No, I took her when she said they bought dinner. Yeah, I think we knew they didn't make it. I don't think we ever thought that they made that dinner. But my thing is, even if you got that from the restaurant, are you getting it from the... I think they put it in the pans. I don't think they got it from the restaurant like that, y'all. I really don't think they got it from the restaurant like that. And if they did, I'd be taking that food back. Oh, okay. Critical Thinker says Wari is a backgammon ancestor. Oh, see, I'm learning stuff. Okay, look. Model Mia says, yes, spades is a rite of passage here in the South. See, learning something new. Okay, well, hold on. Malayo says spades ain't Southern at all. All my folks in Chicago play spades. Well, look, all right. Look, all right. We're not going to get into the South versus the Midwest now. Come on now. Sharjay says, nope, from the Midwest and play spades. Well, it's not a New York thing. I'm sure people in New York do play spades, but I don't think it's a huge thing in New York. But fine. Elle says it was still plated in pans with paper. Gross. But we're gonna give grace to Miles. Woo woo woo, Miles. Woo woo woo. All right, let's move on. All right, guys, we got to get through this, and we haven't even gotten through this. So, the two separate scenes with Cecil and his brother, and Simone and her sister. So Cecil gets really upset. And he's saying, my boys are not going to have to wait 3 hours in line like I did for financial aid. Here's the issue, and I get it, because we've talked about this before, because remember on Real Housewives of Atlanta, Candy talked about this, and we were talking about, yes, Black children of today shouldn't have to struggle. I get it, and we are critical of some parents that refuse to allow their children to live somewhat of a privileged life. I think the problem here is that Dr. Simone and Cecil have disabled their sons. You guys made, and this is your own fault, because this is the storyline you gave us last season. You made us watch you go to their house and clean the house that you're paying for. They're not paying rent. They're not paying you anything. You went to their house to clean it. You have disabled them. It's one thing to allow them to have privilege. Look, we were talking about this with Kimora Lee Simmons' show. She says, she gives her kids a lot, but she also instills in them that they need to have their own. They need to develop their own. Yes, you're going to inherit baby fat, but you need to have your own. So we literally see Ming start her own beauty line. Lady Diva says, the Kempire, you started a spades debate. I didn't mean to. Shout out to the replay crew. Don't be fighting in the comment section. We do not moderate adults, so do not attack people, okay? Ocean's Dreamer says Cecil was yelling. He was yelling. He's like, my sons will not have to wait in line. The fight. They didn't have to wait in line. They have now graduated. They have now graduated from college. Michael is now asking you guys to pay for law school. What have you done, Michael, to say that, you know what, we should invest in now a graduate program? Or is this your way of elongating us taking care of you instead of you actually going out and doing something? And look, I don't know Michael's grades. I don't know if he's always talked about a passion for law. I don't know. We don't get that. But clearly, Dr. Simone feels abused. She feels not heard from any of them. And she says that she would like to retire. And I look at Cecil again. I know you said that you have a job or that you've worked. You used to work in tech. But obviously, you did not make enough for your wife to say, I can retire anytime I want. I can retire today. She can't. Because she's still taking care of these boys and you are not on the same page where she says she would like to retire. That's what she said in that conversation. She would like to retire, and you guys are not allowing that to happen. So, and he's asking for a car in that conversation. It's one thing if you want to pay for the education, and you did, and you were paying for an apartment. Are they now paying for that apartment? Are they paying you rent? That would be my question for them at the reunion. Are you paying who's paying the mortgage on that place now? I'd like to know. And we have every right to know because you brought it on here as a storyline. You've now made it our business. Bloomingdale says Cecil was passionate about Dr. Simone, exactly, providing them a soft life. And I hate the fact that he was trying to make it seem as if everyone is saying that we would like to see these boys struggle. They're not struggling. They've never struggled. And I get it. You don't want them to have to wait in line at the financial aid office. Well, I'm sure that's also giving you character. The fact that you had to do that. On some level, you've gone to another extreme. Now you're disabling them because will they even know how to take care of themselves? Will they know how to wash their hands? Will they know how to clean their own home? Do they know how to make their own meal? Clearly, they do not. Where is the picture? Look, clear. Ew, that's so gross. Every time I look at it, they did not get this from the pasta place like this. They did not. They put it in this thing like this. That is gross. Okay. Whoever you got it from, return it. Who put pasta in the tin with the paper? Oh, and that says to me they didn't wash it. Nothing. You're disabling them. We've talked about this countless times. I'm all for Black children, Black boys to live their best life, soft life, have everything that they want, be spoiled, roll up in your best Jeep, car, whatever, Tesla, whatever. Well, I wouldn't be getting them a Tesla, especially not in 2025. But have the best thing. But you know what? You're going to show me other character development that you deserve this. You're getting straight A's. You're doing excellent in school. You're coming to me with different ideas of what you would like to do. You're like, I would like to become an attorney. I know that I would like to become a prosecutor. I'm so fascinated by. I need to know those other elements. Maybe they do. We have never seen it. All we've seen these boys be entitled. Exactly. Represent Yourself Legal says Teslas have depreciated. People are sending back their Teslas. Y'all decided to buy a Tesla. Okay. Designer Doe says Jamaicans don't play about hygiene and cleanliness. No. Crazy. Look crazy. But anyway, I digressed. Okay. Fiery says, didn't give a flying fig. Disrespectful. Shanti says that Cecil making decisions with Simone's money. And that's how I'm taking it. And Cecil, I know you're going to probably like, well, Cecil works. Cecil has a retirement. Cecil has his funds. But Cecil didn't make enough for his wife to retire now. She cannot retire now because this one wants to now go to law school. He wants a Tesla. But okay. Fine. All right, let's move on. Oh, goodness. Oh, Lord. Just when I thought I could not be so passionate. All right, before I do that, I am going to drop the call in link for the members of the channel. And then a shout out to everyone watching on X. I'm sorry, LV. I didn't see your comments. LV says, I will say, while we don't like to see this, I do think Toya and Dr. Eugene do really love each other, or maybe that's my hope. I just like them. Okay. It's okay, LV. LV says Dr. Eugene is a prize. Okay. Mm. LV says exactly the same way that we leaving Dr. Simone to get sucked dry by her kids and husband. We should leave Dr. Eugene to what he clearly likes. He's been there a long time. Okay. All right, LV. Fine. LV says Dr. Simone. If she likes it, we love it for her. I mean, I'm not fighting that anymore. All right. Let me drop the call in link for the members of the channel. Members of the channel, I'll be posting this on the post tab on YouTube. I will also drop it for our Twitch members as well. Oh, wait a minute. How come I'm not on Facebook right now? That's crazy. Why didn't it post to Facebook? I'm sorry, Facebook. For some reason, it did not. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to drop this for Twitch, though. Okay. Call and link for Twitch members. Shout out to everyone watching on Twitch. Okay. Let me say thank you, Mr. Melon Magic, for the super chat. Mr. Melon Magic says Cecil was acting like financial aid was EB. Oh my God. But I get it. I get what he was trying to say. But the way you said that, Cecil was acting like financial aid was EBT. Oh my gosh. OMG. Miss April, thank you so much for the super chat. Miss April says also every time Simon Simone expresses her discontent, the group literally silences her. They don't hold space for her to finish her thoughts. I'm glad her sister did. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Because her sister wants to hear her sister. Carmen wants to hear her. Everyone else wants to have a moment. You know what I mean? Everyone wants to have a scene. That's the thing we have to think about too when watching reality television. Sometimes people chime in because they want to be heard on the show. They want to have their moment on the show. They want to earn their check. They want to earn their space and place on the show. Forever Tyranny says Eugene has a Tesla and his wife has a sports car. Eugene looks like he wears Target clothes and his wife dresses in designer. Shaking my head. But that is his choice. Could he get a sports car? Probably. But he would rather support Elon Musk. Damn. Oh, Rini, you did too? Rini says, I too got hacked on New Year's Eve on my Facebook. Oh, so it must have been like a thing because literally it was the day after Christmas that we've gotten it back. Meta was able to fix it and get it back. But for some reason, I tried to, I don't know why it didn't stream to, I mean, I guess I could stream it now. And I can't. That's the difficult thing with Facebook. But next time, we were streaming on Facebook before though. We don't got a lot of y'all that follow us on Facebook though. Are you not following me on Facebook? Like the Kempire and Kempire Daily Facebook on Facebook. Follow us there, y'all. LH says, where is Contessa? Contessa was there. We do get to Contessa. She didn't get her own personal scene, but Contessa was there, which was good. We need to lay off Contessa this week because, girl, fine. All right. Quad. Let's talk about Quad. So Quad is packing for Ghana. So this leads to, because she's going to Ghana for egg retrieval. Her whole storyline is about having a baby with King. We said this before, we're going to say it again. I don't know how you guys are having a conversation about having babies together and you haven't made a decision about living with each other or where you're going to live. Where's the baby going to live? I'm assuming with Quad. If you guys can have a conversation about that and make a final decision on that, then I don't understand why we're talking about this. Do I believe it's a storyline? I don't know if I believe it's a storyline. She's actually taking hormones. She's flying to Ghana. Wasn't she just in Ghana? She was in one of those African countries. And wasn't she turning up with Yandy, who's now single? People are speculating that her and King are not together anymore. So I don't know. And you saw the preview for next week where she's boo-hooing. We didn't even get to see the full scene where they did like a whole going away party for Quad, where they were celebrating her having a baby and they all rallied around her and things like that. And I see what you guys are saying about King. Y'all keep coming for King every single week. Fish Eye says, is King really invested though? Well, the way she makes it seem is that he is, because she's like, you take time off from work, and you said that, in order to have the kids, all we need is more money. I'm like, all right. So she's packing, and King's like, it doesn't look like you're packing for. It doesn't look like you're packing for a party. So they flash back to the scene where the women held this whole party for them, where they had the African dances, and then did this whole pool thing where people are hugging on Quad and like acts as if you're holding her baby, and Quad is boo-hooing, and I'm like, I kind of would like to see more of that, because the flashback to it is sort of like, why are we flashbacking to that? Like, I want to see what actually played out. Cameron says, do they live together? They don't. Remember, that was part of their storyline last season. Cameron says, I don't mind separate living arrangements. Okay. All right. But fine. LH says King is Timo. So King then says, are we being practical? Because he says, what if this next egg retrieval is not successful? What if it doesn't work? And she's like, what are you saying? Do you not want to keep trying? And he says outright, he says that this whole process has taken a toll on their relationship. Am I surprised by that? Not at all. Because anyone that's been through what they've gone through, this IVF journey, says that it does take a toll on the relationship. But here's the thing. A lot of the people that are in these situations are married. There's investment. There's investment on both sides. I see Quad is very much invested. A lot of people have said that they don't feel like King is really that invested. Quad says in this moment, she's like, well, this situation's a little different for you because you already have a kid. I don't. Quad is in her late 40s? And she finally decided that she wanted to have a kid. She didn't want to have a kid with Dr. Gregory. I mean, we understand why. And you see how that turned out. Dom says that, and it's expensive. That's true too. So her mood changes with these injections. It's expensive. Designer Doll says that he's being forced into it. Look, he's a grown man. He makes his decision. But it seems like he's like, not sure if this is practical anymore. But he says it's taking a toll on their relationship. So it makes me wonder what their conversation next week is going to be when she's bawling. So then there's that. So we had that scene with Quad and King. I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like we're watching two separate shows sometimes when we get to Quad and King's storyline. I get it, she's connected to the group, but it's sort of like, are we on the same show? What, like, why is this important to the rest of the show? It's not really. But okay. Fine. Oh, okay. Naya, thank you so much for the super chat. Naya says, episode wasn't bad. I'd rather pick your brain about Palm Royale. OMG, have you been watching? Love you from Long Island. Oh, I do watch Palm Royale. Wait, are you talking about Palm Royale, the actual scripted show, or are you talking about members only Palm Beach? Because I talked about both. I do watch Palm Royale on Apple Plus, but also I did a special podcast episode talking about members only Palm Beach on Netflix. You can hear that as a part of the Club Kempire membership on Apple Podcasts. Just in case you want to hear my thoughts, and I'm going to release another episode. Okay. Libra says Quad's birthday. Why did we get on these tangents, y'all? Quad's birthday is May 13th, 1980. She'll be 46 in a few months. Okay. She looks good though. Look, looks good. Thank you so much for gifting, Shonda Lynn. Thank you so much for gifting membership. We appreciate your support. Archie says he's over it, King. I can understand. I can understand. All right. Elle says Palm Beach is good. I could talk about that forever, but yeah. All right. Cameron says it's medical. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you can find anything medical, but I'm just like, but fine. We're here. We're talking about it. Whatever. Their story always feels not so connected to the rest of the group. All right, let's move on, y'all. Let's move on. Simone, so Toya and Simone meet up at her bag party because they do this bag party because of Simone being shady because of the fake bag that Dr. Heavenly apparently brought to Brandy's birthday party. All right, so Toya says she doesn't understand why her friends are carrying fake bags. She says that she always thinks that whatever Heavenly is wearing anyway is fake. Okay. I know that's right, Libra. Libra says, I'm also 46 Kempire and don't look a day over 24. I know that's right. Love that. Love that for you. All right. So Heavenly and Mimi in the car. Heavenly told Toya in the group text that because Toya sent a group text to the ladies wishing them a happy Father's Day and things like that. So apparently Heavenly said, make sure you say that to Dr. Eugene. What we find out later is that she forgot to add, well, she also said, and make sure you do it on camera. So that's where I kind of look at it like, that's shady. That's shady. Okay. But we didn't find that out just yet. So the ladies start arriving for the bag party, which I thought this was a cute. Don't y'all think this was a fun party? And you walk away with a little gift? You know what I mean? So fine. Ocean's Dream, it says those bags are all made in China. I mean, they are. Remember that came out a few months ago when China was they were doing the whole trade war, and China, all those Chinese creators were coming out like, all your favorite bags are made here anyway. They just slap the tag on it when they send it to France. So then there's that. That's why I have to say I haven't bought any really like luxury stuff like that since then because I mean not that I was buying a lot anyway, but I kind of just like, who needs it? Who needs it? Who cares? Anyway, represent yourself. Legal says Heavenly generally tells no lies. Here's the thing. Do I think that she was being shady? Yes. Do I think that Heavenly and Toya do this sort of back and forth? Yes. And they do it for the sake of the show. I think they intentionally come at each other and they do it for the show. Just saying. All right. So they all start piling in for the party. Toya said that she was going to take Angel to meet a doctor, and apparently Angel didn't show up for that. Heavenly says, Contessa arrives. I don't know what the hell Contessa was wearing. Contessa could be so tacky, but fine. Contessa comes dressed up like she's going to the club, and everyone's like, what are you wearing? We're going to be on our feet designing bags. Okay. So Heavenly says that Contessa, it looks like Contessa goes to the sales rack when she goes to Goodwill. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Yes. Mahogany says the New York Post had an article about how all the rich women in the Upper East Side carry fake bags. They are smart, in my opinion. Yeah, they're not spending that money. They're not spending that money. Those ladies are down there in Chinatown. I'm about to go join them. Go down to Chinatown, go get me a Louis Owie. Okay? I'm gonna go get me a Louis Owie and an Hermes. Okay? Or Burbez, whatever it says. I'm gonna get me one. I'm gonna get that big one. You know that big one that the men end up getting? I'm gonna get me one of those. Okay? I'm gonna take you guys with me down there to Chinatown. Ain't been there in a hot second. All right. So Heavenly makes a comment about Dr. Contessa and what Contessa has on. So the designer talks about the bags that they're going to be making, and she says they're going to be real leather. So Toya makes a comment. She's like, some people here ain't used to that. Because remember, she brought Heavenly's fake bag. Okay? Where do you guys in Atlanta get your fake bags from? Because I know here in New York, people, there's people on the street. Okay, maybe that's what happens on the streets of Atlanta. They have the people selling the bags. Or you go to Chinatown. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think, look, I've seen some of the bags that they sell. Look. Why here we go with another sidebar. The beauty supply store? Rainy Circus says the beauty supply store in Atlanta. That's where y'all get your fake bags? Um, you're right, Teresa. Be careful. ICE was down there. You right. You right. I'm gonna bring my passport with me. Look. Oh, Metro Mart? Kira says online. Oh, look, I'm learning a thing about Atlanta. So is that where Dr. Heavenly got it? Garcia King says, I don't think Heavenly said was shady. She disrespected him on camera. She needs to praise him on camera. I could see that, but who wants to hear that from anybody? You know what I mean? So I do think there was some shade to it. Okay. And look, please understand, Dr. Heavenly is very calculated. Dr. Heavenly is not just, she will do whatever she needs to do to make this show interesting, even as a friend of. Okay. Bloomingdale says the bazaars. What's the bazaars? Okay. Probably a flea market. Let me find out. Atlanta. Kira says Dr. Scott because Contessa reveals that Dr. Scott, she told on Dr. Scott. She says when they were in medical school, he was selling fake Coach bags. He was selling fake Coach bags to make it through medical school. She says the statute of limitations have run out on that. I'm like, I hope so. My Lord. Real House Husband says, Kempire, no, there's a flea market not that far from the Atlanta airport. I saw a couple of the stars of Love and Hip Hop. What were you doing there? Real House Husband, he was like, getting me a bag. I know that's right. Get you a bag. Get you a Louis Ooey. I mean, I don't care at this point. I think there's certain things that you should buy that are real. And then there's certain things like, if you fronting for a reality show, fine. I would not take any shame from it. I would probably be the one to be like, this is my Louis Ooey. Don't worry about it. It look real, don't it? It look real. You right, Mahogany, because I got some connections on my WhatsApp in China. Mahogany says that WhatsApp has all the connects in China. One thing I would say, what I would do different, when I first moved into an apartment, I got my stuff from local places, like furniture. The next place that I furnish, or next house or whatever, I'm definitely going to China and picking out all my stuff, all the furniture and stuff. I'm not going to Restoration Hardware or anything like, overpriced and not the same quality that it used to be. And plus, it's the same people that make it over there in China, and you're getting it for way less. Keela says, if you like it, who cares? I certainly don't. Share the plug, though. That part. Akila Mohammed says, beautiful photo, Akila. The world is burning up at this point. Who cares about a fake bag? Super juvenile. Diana says, in this economy, I'll take a Louis Ooey. Okay. Just saying. I'm going to take us on a field trip to Chinatown. When it warms up. Right now? No. Look, no. It's too cold to be out in those streets going into back alleys. No. I'm not doing it. Oh, okay. Here go Auntie Eva. I know Coach is a little bit more affordable luxury. Auntie Eva says, why buy a fake Coach bag? They're not even expensive. Just go to the outlet. Well, we have to remember, this was a different time. They're talking about when he was in medical school. And I know they've had outlets since then, but maybe it's just a different time. But you're right. Coach is definitely a little bit more affordable. But everyone's amount of money is not the same. Danielle says, North Carolina used to have the best quality furniture. New York used to have some spots that had really great. It's just a different time. It's just a different time. I think back in the day, you used to be able to get everything. Just Kelly says, I look forward to getting a Firkin. I'm going to go find me I'm going to get one of y'all a Firkin. And then we're going to put it in the studio. Look at my Firkin, y'all. How much should I pay for my Firkin? I'm going to go get me a Firkin. Watch. All right, guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's an easy, free way of supporting the channel. We have made and taken so many sidebars, okay, and side roads, this recap. I'm going to move on because, damn, it's almost 5 o'clock. And I have to get off of here by 5. Are we not going to be able to get to callers? Sorry. Oh, wait, people backstage? Oh, damn, we got a long line of people backstage. Fine. Fine. All right. So they're making the bags. All right. They're doing all the bags, having a good old time and talking and catching up. Heavenly says that Toya talked about several bags, but doesn't have several homes, several businesses, or a portfolio. Okay. All right. It's because Toya brings out her fake Balenciaga bag. Okay. So, excuse me. That's when Contessa reveals that Dr. Scott sold fake Coach bags. Toya brings up what Dr. Heavenly said in the text message. Simultaneously, we have the husbands hanging out at Dr. Scott's house. Dr. Scott apparently is hosting this get together, and I said to myself watching it, I was like, I wonder if well, first of all, my first thought was like, look at him planning a party, and he couldn't even plan Dr. Contessa's party. Then I thought to myself, it was probably Dr. Contessa that planned this party. She's probably the one who booked the chef for them to cook for them. You telling me he couldn't even cook for them? All right, Dr. Scott. I don't understand it. But fine. Whatever. So the guys sit down and they have their own conversation about what's been going on, about Dr. Scott and the build out and things like that. So Eugene puts it on Toya. He's like, oh, Toya decided she didn't like the space. You know how she can be. She's very opinionated. And she felt like it was too small. And based off the office he has now, it's about the same size. It doesn't make sense. Fine. So then the men start talking about the wives, and Dr. Eugene brings up the fact that certain wives talk about him, and this leads to Dr. Eugene and Dr. Damon Daddy talking about Heavenly and some of the things that Heavenly has said about him. And he's like, I don't think she's ever said anything directly to you. He's like, no, but she does talk about me, and I end up seeing it. And he says, Heavenly made some comments about his manhood. And he's like, where did that come from? Your wife, Dr. Eugene. She talked about your manhood on the show. And yes, should they keep bringing it up? I don't know. But she was the one that did it. She was the one who brought yo thingy thing or lack thereof a thingy thing on this show. Okay? Curtis, because he has his issues with Toya, he's like, we can't just be talking about Heavenly when other wives do the same thing. Toya does the same thing. Then he flashed back to when she was on Watch What Happens Live talking about him being touchy-feely. But you were. It's hard to defend any of these people because they're all wrong. Okay? So anyway, what else did they talk about? So Dr. Damon says, it's more on the wives. We don't need to change. The wives need to change. He's like, we need to change our wives. So he lightens the mood. But here's the thing. Both Dr. Heavenly's mouth is as reckless as Toya's mouth. So neither one of those two men can talk. Fine. Get back to the women making their bags. So the women are running and fighting over the material that they're going to use to make their bags. They start making their bags. But then Toya and Heavenly get into it about what was said in the text message. And the element that we found out in this moment was the fact that Heavenly said, how about you say some of what you're saying to us to you, Dr. Eugene, on camera. It was the on camera that changed it for me. I was like, oh, wait a minute. Not on camera. So you were definitely trying to be shady and taking a dig. So then they start getting into it, and Dr. Jackie is just sitting there fighting, watching them argue, and she's just so bothered by it. And then she decides to say something. She's like, I don't say much, but my heart is broken because we created this group where that we can help each other. And it doesn't feel like that's what we're doing. She says, Toya and Heavenly have never been this fractured before. They've never been this fractured before? Lies! The lies! They've always been fractured. Okay? And then Dr. Jackie says, Heavenly, you don't need to throw a boulder if someone throws a rock. Toya's like, I may have threw some sand. I didn't throw a rock. Okay? And then she says, I really don't think Heavenly was coming at Toya in that particular kind of way. And I'm like, Dr. Jackie, shut up. I'm sorry. Shut up. Shut up. Why is she sitting there acting like you don't, first of all, use Dr. Heavenly as your pit bull? And I'm just sitting there looking at Dr. Jackie, and I'm like, Dr. Jackie, please be quiet. Please be quiet, because none of what you're saying right now, I guess they maybe a producer is like, Dr. Jackie, come on in and be the savior. Because you have thrown boulders when no one was throwing anything. Like the whole conversation about Brandy and her enlarged thyroid, or about Buffy and her infertility, or when you were on Dr. Heavenly's channel talking about Black women in the. I'm always going to bring it up because you're always going to come at everyone like you're holier than thou and that you're so perfect. I'm always going to remind you of how you're not. You're not. All of a sudden, she wants to come in to be the voice of reason, coming and talking so soft and sweet. But then she talks so soft and sweet, and then she says, "You look like what did she say about a can of peaches?" I don't remember. But you're not. You're not soft and sweet, and apparently you were funky too. Apparently, she must be using that natural deodorant, and musty. I don't understand. I'm not falling for it. RV says to be matriarch. It felt so out of place because I was like, wait, all of a sudden, Jackie Luther King, exactly, KNC. All of a sudden, a busted can of biscuits. Thank you. I couldn't remember. A busted can of biscuits. Thank you, Kylo. Like, girl. All right. Exactly. Mr. Magic says, and Buffy, you can relate to being infertile. Wait, you can relate. You're infertile in a loop in my mind. Mr. Melon Magic says. Bray says, a can of busted biscuits. The audacity. I agree. K Baby says, production probably told Jackie she had to work today. Because it was, to me, it was like, wait, huh? What are you doing? Exactly. Dina says, acting like Maya Angelou. What? Critical Thinker says, Dr. Jackie is a glass house. So, fine. So, that's how the episode ends at this party. Designer Dose says, Kempire woke up and chose violence. No, I didn't. I'm just being honest. Okay? I'm being honest. I'm telling the truth. Jackie could learn a thing or two. But that is the role they want her to play on the show. But that's not who she is. Tyrese, thank you so much for the super chat. Tyrese says, raffle off the Firkin bag, Kemp. Can I do that legally? Where's my attorney? Dr. Esquire. Look, Dr. Esquire. Miss Esquire, can I do that? As long as I don't charge Birkin prices, right? Let us know in the chat or call in. Wait, is she backstage? Hold on. Oh wait, we have an attorney backstage, and Coco Esquire is backstage. I'm gonna ask Coco. Wait, let me say thank you, Miss V. Thank you so much for the super chat. Miss V says, when Curtis threw Scott and Contessa in how a couple should talk to or about each other in public, I was like, please go watch past seasons to refresh your mind, Curtis. They're all hypocritical. That's why I couldn't even take him serious with what he was saying. Like, none of them have no way of talking about the other one and their wives and how they conduct themselves. I was like, we've all watched the same show, right? Thank you, Miss V. But yeah. All right, guys, keep liking the video. Once we get to 600 likes, I will drop the call link for the general audience. But if you're a member of the channel, I've already dropped the call link for all members on the post tab here on YouTube. Don't forget, you can also hear our recaps and special episodes on the Kempire podcast. Today's live show is brought to you by our friends over at Factor, too. It's a new year, and I know it's a new you. And we've partnered with our friends over at Factor Meals yet again for the new year. Factor Meals, as you know, is a perfect option for those that don't want to cook, like I don't, but you also want healthy options. And they have a variety for you to choose from. So let's get started with the new year with our friends over at Factor. New year, big goals, no time to cook? Factor makes it easy with fully prepared meals designed by dietitians and crafted by chefs, so you can eat well without shopping or cooking. And I've talked to you guys before. I've spoken and gone through Factor meals with my own dietitian, and we've compared it to other meals, and this one has been a great option for me. So there's quality, functional ingredients, including lean proteins, colorful veggies, whole food ingredients, and healthy fats. No refined sugars, no artificial sweeteners, or refined seed oils. You have 100 rotating weekly meals. Options include high protein, calorie smart, Mediterranean diet, GLP-1 support. Because people forget this. I was just watching Dr. Frida. I don't know if you guys follow her on YouTube. She was talking about even if you're on GLP-1s, you need to be making sure that you are having a proper diet. It's not something that you can be on and just eat whatever you want. They also have some ready-to-eat salads. Plus, the new Muscle Pro collection supports strength and recovery. You know, I use this, so I think you should too. Of course, I've gotten you a deal. Head on over to factormeals.com/Kempire50off and use code Kempire50off to get 50% off your first Factor box and plus free breakfast for 1 year. Please keep in mind, offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Make healthier eating easier with Factor. More details on your discount and more will be available in the description. I'm about to go place my order for Factor. That just reminded me. Libra says, love Dr. Frida. Me too. We're going to get Dr. Frida on here because there's so many. We've been trying to get Dr. Frida for a hot set. We've been trying to figure out our schedule. She's going to get on the channel, though, because we got to talk about all kinds of health stuff. So shout out to Dr. Frida. All right. We're going to get to some callers because I didn't expect to talk this long about Married to Medicine. I just had a lot of thoughts, and we had a lot of sidebars. So if you're part of the replay crew and you don't like sidebars, sorry. Welcome to the channel, okay? This is what we do. This is our recap. This is how we make it interesting, okay? This is how I have to say, though, this was an interesting episode, guys. How would you rate this week's episode of Married to Medicine? Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Let me refresh this. Let me see what the poll is saying. So with almost 900 votes, you guys are rating this week's episode with 59% of the vote. 7 to 10. So that's not bad. It was a better episode. And like I said before, I appreciate the fact that we're focusing more on some of the personal dramas as opposed to the interpersonal friendship drama. All right. LH says it was the spades conversation. You're right. That really, I was supposed to go meditate at 5 o'clock, but I'm going to, we have a long line of callers. So I'll meditate at 6. Fine. Just interrupt my meditation. Let me ask Coco Esquire about this Firkin. Coco Esquire, wait, before you say anything, the opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, the Kempire LLC, or our sponsors. Everything they say is alleged, and this is not legal advice. So if I wanted to it would be like a giveaway of the Firkin.
I mean, you in most jurisdictions, you have to be registered as a nonprofit to have a lawful lottery or giveaway. I don't know what the rules are in New York, but you certainly could not charge people anything over on YouTube or Facebook or any other online application in exchange for a chance to win a Birkin. Oh. So, and even if you did register with a nonprofit, you would need to also articulate how you were going to use the proceeds. So that's that on that. Yeah, you need to go through some steps before you have a lawful lottery or raffle.
So we won't be doing that. Okay. Yeah. All right. What did you want to share in regards to Married to Medicine?
So I wanted to just play like producer for a minute. I really love Dr. Mimi on this episode. I think she has a good opportunity to be like the real medicine and Married to Medicine and take over Dr. Jackie's spot. I would love for whoever's asking them questions during confessionals to really, really engage in like a psychoanalysis every time. And then what I really want to see is her go on the reunion and people try to comfort her and she just look directly at Andy and say, this is what we call histrionic personality disorder. I learned about this my first year of med school. And this is how it presents. Toya would die on that stage. If she doesn't return the same energy that Toya, because Toya can't match that.
No.
And the reason that Toya's jealous is because there are some things that labels don't buy you,
Mm.
that a degree, that a license, that a skill set will always be
Mm.
able to buy. And that's the thing. And not to mention, she has a fine, strong looking husband. So that's really all I wanted to say. And I hope Quad runs from King. King is over it, Quad girl. Don't do it.
Ooh. I think
He's
they
gonna
might be. I
make
don't know.
you.
People are word on the street. People are speculating that they're not even together anymore. That's why she over there in Ghana partying with Yandy.
Which is what we want to see on TV, right? A party, not this fake storyline with King. But anyway,
Okay. Thanks, Coco. Take care.
all right, Happy New Year, y'all.
You too. All right. Let's bring up Toya next. Toya, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire, I can't hear you.
Oh.
But I have a question, and I can't hear you, so you can answer it for me. Um, I just started watching Married to Medicine this season. Did Toya say that Dr. Eugene has a small member? Oh my God, why would she do that? Oh, you know what? She's trying to make sure nobody takes her man. Because the Atlanta streets, it's like a 10-to-1 ratio of men to women. That's what it is. But I like that Cecil's, let me get that correct. Cecil's brother told him, gave him good advice about focusing on his wife. And I thought that Jackie's sister gave her great advice. But he seems to have like post-traumatic stress disorder when it comes to standing in line in the, financial aid office. Does he not know that all this stuff is done online now? Like, you can do this stuff online before class even starts, sir. Like, it's not that serious, okay? Have a good one.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. You're right. I haven't been in college in such a long time. All that stuff is done online. Yeah, Toya was the one to bring up his. Remember, she said, and they flashback this season where she said, "I wish someone would have told me that it doesn't get any bigger." She said that. All right, Wendy, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, so with the space thing, yes, it is serious, especially in the M town. Quick funny story. Back in the early 2000s, I was dating this guy, and we was partners, and we played with my sister and her first husband, and my sister's first husband reneged, and he ended up sleeping in the other bedroom for like 2 weeks. It is that serious.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it is that serious. And also I was tripping off of Cecil when he was talking about I'm going to support my sons. They don't have to pay for nothing. I'm paying for this. And I'm like, hello, your wife. You saying what about we or her? I was
Mhm.
like, this is crazy. But yeah, I just wanted to tell you that it is very serious in spades. Uno no mercy is exactly what it is. No mercy. It's a family destroyer, and I love it, and my family loves it. But we love it all the time. Every holiday we get together, we're playing spades and also Uno no mercy. All right, talk to you later.
Thanks, Wendy. Wow. Note to self. Lord have mercy. All right, let's bring up Angel next. Angel, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire, you had me watch this episode, and then I had to decide on Sunday who did it worse or who wore it worse between Contessa and Giselle. That's why I stopped watching both of these shows. No, but on a serious note, watching this episode and seeing the scene with Dr. Mimi and her keeping her son out of the play date
Yeah.
made me think back to when I worked at an OT clinic for kids on the spectrum. And I wish she gets more into her story because we're not sure if he's acting out because he's nonverbal, if he's having all of the accommodations he needs in school, if he's in school, if he's getting his ABA therapy, which I doubt because of the way he's lashing out. So it made me think about that. And then I also thought about my cousin because we had a Halloween party. And because he's nonverbal, he did the same thing when she said she was replacing TVs of people all the time. He broke my TV, but we let it go because it was still under warranty. So we didn't make the uncle pay for it. But so I was very sympathetic and empathetic to that.
Yeah.
And then with what was I going to say? I completely forgot. But oh no, with Quad and her journey for IVF.
Mhm.
That made me think of when I used to work in the OBGYN clinic, and a lot of women put their careers before having babies, and then they look up and the time has flashed by and they're in geriatric pregnancies and they're struggling. And that is why it should be a part of your health care to get IVF. Just for those women who
Mm.
put career first and decide, as a mom who had 2 kids in my early 20s and then another one at 39, and it was considered a geriatric high risk pregnancy. Thank God I was able to do it on my own. But for those women who aren't, we need a little bit more support for them. So that's
Yeah.
it.
Thank you so much for the calling in. All right. Okay. Yamola says Quad is in Nigeria, dipping it and doing it with Swanky. With Swanky, not Ghana. I'm thinking Ghana because of this episode. I can't keep up with what African country she's in. But thank you for letting us know. But she's in that. She's not here. Okay. She's definitely not in the United States. She's in Africa. All right. All right. Let's get to some more callers. All right. Oh, wait, before I do that, let me say thank you, Demi, for the super chat. Demi says, just made it to the chat. I need Quad to get away from that man. He switched up completely. Absolutely do not have kids with him. Ladies, we have choices. Okay. All right. Let me bring up Ms. Brooklyn Diamond next. Ms. Brooklyn Diamond, what did you want to share about Married to Medicine?
Happy New Year, everyone.
You too.
Start off light. I love the bag making party. Like, that is definitely something I would go to.
Yes.
That was just amazing. I had to find some place like that in New York.
Right? I'm sure we have that.
Yeah, I gotta find one. For Simone and Cecil, what leapt out to me with that was that when Simone was talking with her sister, she said it's been 3 years that she's been feeling this way, which goes back to when she wanted out of that marriage and let everybody talk her into staying. She doesn't want to be there. And I think she felt, because everybody was pressuring her and it was the TV show and Jackie and Curtis ended up staying together, that she needed and had to stay with that man. As far as the whole idea with the struggling, those kids have never struggled in their life. And there is nothing wrong with, okay, I paid for your undergrad, you pay for your grad, you go get a job, you go, there's not saying that she doesn't, not to help them, not at all, but what have they shown or done to say that I can stand on my own 2 feet? Should she buy them a law firm when he graduates so he don't ever have to practice to be a lawyer? Like, at some point in time, you got to put in the work to be the adult. And there's no work that's going in. No. Sorry to be long. I just wanted to speak about the Brandy with her son. I'm going through that right now with my granddaughter. My daughter had twins. And both are somewhat on the spectrum. And it's funny, the nonverbal one, well, she talks, but she's more nonverbal, I should say, more nonverbal than her sister. Her sister is very verbal. The verbal one, the one who speaks and talks a lot, she's the one who's having the acting out. And in, like, just this past weekend, we were all together and she wanted to go home and threw a fit and a fit and a fit, to the point where my daughter, she felt like she had to leave. Nobody in the house cared about it, but she was uncomfortable with it and felt that she had to leave. I understand where Brandy is coming from, seeing that, because when you have the one child that you can take anywhere and be secure with, and then you have this other child that you cannot always predict how that child is going to act. Sometimes you do leave that child at home, especially if it's not a situation where you're very close friends or family. How do you explain that? Yeah. It becomes a hard thing to explain, because people will look at that and say, oh, that's just a bad child. Oh, you don't have control over your kid, or this.
I feel like that's what people were doing, even just watching the scene. In regards to that, people were judging the way that they handled that particular situation as if he doesn't have a disability. So
exactly. So you become, as a parent, you become uncomfortable in surroundings that you are not familiar with, that he is not familiar with. And it also could be with one of the things with my granddaughter, and I'm sorry to be long-winded with all this, everybody, I do apologize. One of the things with my granddaughter is one of her triggers is noise, and a lot of people, she can't take that.
Yeah.
It upsets her a lot. So in looking at that, you're going to a new house that he's never been before. There are a lot of children around. It's not a comfort place for him. He's not going to have the things that, his own home, his own surrounding things that are going to make him comfortable. And then let's be real. Kids are loud. Kids are rowdy. Kids make
we
noise.
saw them screaming.
Exactly. So that, her knowing that these are triggers from my son, it's best that I leave him home.
And you don't want him hitting one of the other kids.
Exactly. Or bring him into the other part is, you don't always want to willingly bring your kid, especially a spectrum child, into a situation where you know that they are going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You as the parent know that they're going to be uncomfortable in this situation, and then you discipline them or punish them for acting out in a way that you knew was going to be an uncomfortable situation for them.
Yeah.
Again, with my daughter bringing, she was surrounded by her family, and, my other granddaughters were there. So we all kind of understand. We understand what's going on with her. So when these things happen, it's water off a duck's back. We ignore it.
No.
But, play dates are very hard for her. Because you have one child who, and it's their autism shows up in very different ways.
Yeah.
One goes off into herself. She goes into herself. She will go off by herself. She will be quiet. She will sit there. She will be still. She will suck her thumb and be all happy, happy, joy, joy.
Yeah.
The other one does not want to be there, and she will let you know. She does not want to be there. So it's a difficult path that parents with autistic children have to travel, and not, if you don't have that in your family, you don't always understand what they're going through. And again, people will look at you and say, oh, get your kid under control. If they could control their kid, do you not think they would?
No.
It's not just simply, giving them an iPad and them sitting down or doing this or doing that. It's a sensory thing. And if they're overwhelmed, there's no bringing them down from that other than to put them back in their comfortable place.
Yeah.
Sorry for going on so long, everybody. Have a great evening.
You too. Thank you, Ms. Brooklyn Diamond. It's true. And the other element that we have to think about too is the fact that this is being filmed. So, we don't see the camera crew and the producers and all the lights that are there. All of that stuff could be very triggering for him. And we talked about it. Some people, I did like a short video. I clipped out one of the conversations that we had a couple of weeks ago talking about, I said, maybe he needs headphones when in the car. Based on what we're seeing an edited version. So we don't know if the sounds that were coming from the iPad that she was on was triggering to him or whatever it may be. Some people are mad at me for my perspective on. I was like, please understand, this perspective is coming from someone that has worked with children with autism and adults with autism, has trained staff. When it comes to, I've lived a life before I was a content creator here on these social media streets. But even if I wasn't, when you put something like this on a show, people have a right to share their opinion, especially if they're sharing it in a respectful way. Me saying or giving a suggestion to Dr. Mimi as someone that has trained staff on how to work with people with developmental disabilities is actually helpful. And maybe she didn't think about it. Maybe she already had done it. Maybe she already thought about it since then. But what if she didn't? Maybe me saying this or someone seeing me say this, they relay it back to her. People are weird, but it's all right. Ms. Melvin said, not mad at, yeah, I was surprised. I was like, I was like, okay. I just, just train staff in regards to how to work with people with developmental disabilities. All right. Never mind. All right. Just got a degree in it, but whatever. All right. Let me get to the rest of these callers, guys. And again, shout out to shout out to Ms. Brooklyn Diamond for sharing her personal experience as well. Keep liking the video, guys, if you haven't already. We're talking about the latest episode of Married to Medicine. We're going to bring up Tish next. Tish, what go on, sis Trin?
Wagwan Kempire.
Hey.
A long time in the call, and I'm so
I
excited
know.
to talk to you, and I'm so excited to see you in March. FYI,
Yes.
I'm bringing my husband. He always watches your lives with me, so
Aw.
he feels very invested.
Yeah.
He feels very invested.
I love
Okay,
it. I can't wait.
so really quick, I agree with you on your stance on Cecil and standing in the financial aid line, it definitely builds character. I went to an HBCU, I went to FAM. I was standing in those long lines at Foot Hillier for my net check. And when I tell
Mm.
you, like, it built so much character in me, so much tenacity, so much like fight. Even now in my corporate career, I'm dealing with people that are, actively trying to sabotage me. I was going to
Mm.
try to be nice, but I'm gonna be honest,
Both?
you
Look,
know.
both? No, playing.
But I thought it was so funny because last week I thought back to standing in those lines at Foot Hillier, and I said, they don't know who they're
Mm.
dealing with. You think I'm gonna give
Mm.
up? You think you're gonna make me look bad? But what you don't know is that I always stay on point. So to me, I feel like Cecil he was really, I don't know, he was talking out the side of his neck.
Mm.
And also another point, I thought that him wanting to protect his sons more than one protecting his wife spoke volumes. He was there advocating for his son, and it's like his wife has been talking to him about
Mm.
how she feels, and it's going in one ear and out the other.
No.
That was crazy. Ooh, I'm running out of time. Okay, really quick. I hope Dr. Simone. I truly am rooting for Dr. Simone. I haven't given up on her. I'm hoping she's playing the long game. I hope that she's planning her great escape and she's just playing along to pretend like like everything is cool. They say when women stop fighting, that's because they've given up and they're
Mm.
leaving. And I hope that's literally what it is. She's like, yeah, you can take whatever you want. I don't care because I'm out the door anyways. And then last
Mm.
point, I love Dr. Mimi's representation. I think it's so amazing that she's on here talking about the struggles that parents face when they have children with mental health issues and that break. I'm so glad that she was able to get that break. And
Yeah.
I hope people don't take it to be selfish because as
Mm.
parents, you need that break.
Yeah.
And then for I do hope though that she doesn't go too low at the reunion with Toya because to me, I hold her to a higher standard. I feel like she has so much to lose, and Toya doesn't.
Mm.
So I don't want her to stoop too low because
I
I
don't think
feel
she
like she
will.
does great work,
Yeah.
and I don't want her to diminish her impact. And
Mm.
that's all.
Thank you so much, Tish.
Oh,
What?
I was just gonna say really quick. I was in Thailand a couple years ago, and I
Mm.
bought some dupes, and like one of
Oh.
them broke in public. It was a purse, and it broke in public, and I was so embarrassed. And I'm real bougie, so I have ringlets, and then I stopped buying dupes after that. So if y'all have some quality dupes that won't break in public and embarrass me, I will get those.
I
But
heard Thailand's a good place, but you know where it's not for dupes. For if you want to get consignment stuff, Japan is good
mhm,
for that. But I ain't
yeah.
never seen a Louis Uwe from Chinatown bust.
Listen, I have a bum bag. It is so cute. It broke. I had a Fendi bag. It broke. And then the vendors in Thailand, they had pictures with rappers and football players buying fake jewelry. So all of these people buy fake jewelry. All of them buy fake jewelry.
And you guys want to go broke in order to keep up with these folks. All right.
Listen. But thank you so much, and I'm sorry for going over.
Thanks, Tish. Bye.
Talk soon. Bye.
All right. Dr. Frida's in the chat. Hey, Dr. Frida. Dr. Frida, thank you so much for the super chat. Dr. Frida says, my ninth grade daughter bought me an Are You Okay sweatshirt for Christmas. I don't know if she was being kind or being shady by asking me the question. Happy New Year. Yes. Look, are you okay? No, I think, well, she wanted to support Dr. Frida. Thank you so much, Dr. Frida, for the super chat. This I have to say, this is these T-shirts do very well. I guess y'all don't want the logo or the tour merch, but y'all love the "Are You Okay" merch. All right. Let me get to the rest of these calls, guys, so I can get out of here. Because it's about time for me to eat. I'm gonna go get me some pasta. It look very much like the pasta that Miles gave. I feel for some pasta today, so I'm gonna go get me some pasta, but without the paper. All right, let's bring up GC Charm next. GC, what did you want to share about Married to Medicine?
Hi there, Kempire. Can you
Hey.
hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. Happy New Year's to you and
You
everybody
too.
else that is listening. I was the one who told you about processing inmates,
Oh, yes.
asking if they want space. But let me say this about Married to Medicine. I love Dr. Simone. I always love Dr. Simone, but she just got to let it go. Just let it go, and she'll be okay. She deserves that. And if everybody doesn't want to follow, they don't follow. As far as
Mm.
Dr. Mimi, I think Dr. Mimi can read Toya and knows who Toya is, and that bothers Toya. Remember, Toya is still upset that the fact that in the first scene, in the first season, she had that fight.
Mm.
And she had just recently married Dr. Eugene, and she felt that it wasn't a great representation of his wife. So she's been fighting that in her head since then. So Dr. Mimi is now showing her, no, you're still not that girl. So Simone, like I said, let those boys do what they got to do, and that boys means her husband and those children. Let them go. Let them do.
Mm.
Then that's it.
Thank you, GC. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Let's get to some more callers. Hold on. Let me bring up Music next. Music, what did you want to share about the latest episode of Married to Medicine?
Hello. Okay. So first, Contessa and Simone, to me, you can tell that during their 20s, all they did is like study and achieve. And with some of the guys, you can see that too. Eugene is a nerd, Dr. Gregory is a nerd. I wish they would just like lean into it. Like, yes, I don't know this because I studied. Like, what do you want me to say? But it's all mine. Okay. Then with Simone, I'm very upset with her. Like, first of all, why did you buy the Tesla? You're asking Cecil to do something when really all he's doing is supporting your decisions. This is something you continue to do. I saw the unedited live with your family. Michael gave the world a middle finger. Like, you raised him and you love it. So just let it happen. Like, it's 4 against 1, your retirement. Like, so this is what you want. And as a first generation American, I am so aware of the sacrifices that my parents put into me. Like, they don't have to tell me they work hard. I know that I've been given gifts and I have urgency to give it back. So I don't want to hear, oh, they don't understand. You can teach your kids to understand. Okay. Jackie is shady as heck. She didn't have to tell. Okay, almost there. She didn't have to tell that camera that Quad has no hope, but she's going to pretend she has hope. That was very rude. And I agree with the last caller that Toya doesn't think she deserves Eugene, but it's not because she's tacky. It's because of her mouth. Okay, that's it.
Thanks, Music. Wow. All right, let's bring up Michael next. Michael, what did you want to share about Married to Medicine?
Hey, okay. Great episode. I think that everything that I said in the previous live was supported by this episode concerning Cecil and Simone. I think I was vindicated in that respect. Also, I think Heavenly is the type of congresswoman we will want in the future because of how fiscally conservative she is. She showed that with her not investing in like expensive purses. And that was pretty much it.
Thank you, Michael, for calling in.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. All right, let's take another caller. Rashawn, what's going on? What did you want to share about Married to Medicine?
Hello, Kempire. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing well, doing well. This episode, well, this season so far has been a pretty much good season. And I have to commend Dr. Heavenly for not going low with Toya because Toya, while you're talking about like Fenty and everything else, Dr. Heavenly could have went there about your taxes a couple of years ago. Let's not forget that. And Simone, my heart does go out to you. Dr. Simone, my heart goes out to you for those boys because if I had spent $60,000 on my mom's credit card, I'd be 6 feet under right
We
now.
forgot about that part.
Yes. And Miss Quad, I hope things work out for her and King, but from what it's looking like, it's about to go south. And I'm very skeptical about to see what's going to happen. And Dr. Mimi, she's a great addition for the show. She can read Toya hands down, but she's not even going to stoop low to her level. And that's all I got to say about this episode.
Okay. Rashawn, thanks so much for calling in. All right. Jessica says when it comes to IVF, it is very expensive. Even husbands after 2 or 3 rounds would have said the same. Would have the same conversation. Men see a lot of money being spent and emotions haywire. They rather stop. I mean, I get it. I get it completely. I don't feel. I know a lot of people keep saying that they don't like King for Quad. I think they're just awkward in these scenes, and their scenes they feel a little rehearsed. But also the relationship, it's like you're making this very serious decision in regards to having a baby, but I don't hear you talking about like the realistic, okay, once you have the baby, are you living in the same house? Are we moving? Like, what are we doing? I'd much rather see them have that conversation, but okay, fine. So I don't think what he said was necessarily wrong in regards to the amount of money that's being spent in regards to this whole process, but also the realistic just how as exactly Tish says, taxing it can be on a relationship. I'm telling you, people that are married and have been married for a very long time that have gone through this process would say the same thing, that this process has taken a toll on the relationship. So I know a lot of people, I think just based off of some of the things that they've seen over the last few episodes, they feel like this relationship is not solid. They don't like King for Quad. She likes it. I love it for her, but we shall see if this relationship survives after this season. We shall see. I mean, maybe it will. Maybe there will be a moment during the reunion that the group will try to rally around Quad and King and save their relationship. Miss Brookendine says, as they say, she's putting the cart before the horse. Okay. All right. If you're part of the replay crew, be sure to like the video. It's an easy, free way of supporting the channel. And also let me know your thoughts on everything that we talked about. We have been talking for over 2 hours. We have never done, no, we've definitely done more than 2 hours for Married to Medicine, but it's been a while. It's been a while, but apparently we had a lot to say about spades. Okay. Let's continue this conversation in the live, well, not in the live chat, in the comments section. As always, don't forget to like the video if you haven't already. And don't forget, you can hear an audio version of our live recaps on the Kempire podcast. Subscribe today on your favorite platform and be sure to give us a 5-star review. And don't forget, the Kempire After Dark, a live show, returns to New York City on March 13th. So many people have gotten their tickets. This will be our only show of 2026. Not coming to your city. Sorry. But there is a live stream option, so you can be a part of the show as well. So get your live stream ticket today. There's meet and greets available. Be sure to check that out in the description, along with today's sponsors, Wix.com and Factor Meals. All right. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye, y'all. Bye, y'all.
Here we go now.